Top 10 demons in Devil May Cry, other than the Sparta Boys. Hello, it's the Devil Joe, back again with a brand new video. And today, I'll be ranking my favorite demons in the Devil May Cry series, other than the Sons of Sparta. I'm gonna include a lot of their attributes, like how scary these boss types are, back and forths with the Spartas, overall boss fight and themes, so without further ado, let's jump into this crazy ranking! Number 10 on the list is the first boss in the OG Devil May Cry. I'm a huge fan of this spider-scorpion lava monster hybrid. All the way from the first entrance, along with his banter with Dante, not to mention his stalkerish tendencies, chasing the dude across Malay Castle, along with the fun yet basic boss fight that manages to keep you on your toes at all times. There's also the kick-ass battle theme pumping you up full of adrenaline while fighting the boss. But on the other hand, we got better bosses later on in the series. In the number 9 spot is the Birdie Griffin. I put this guy over Phantom for the main reason of him having that hunter or minion's pride, if you could call it that. To kill the so-called son of Sparta who killed the Phantom chump off, proving that he's the best out of the phylum, killing that pesky human inside of Malay Castle, leading the bird to chase Dante around the castle till it realizes, holy shit, this dude is him! The genuine article, but wants to keep on fighting, even though his wing is broken. Even Dante's like, bruh, you're in no fighting condition trying to fight me with a broken limb. Gets turned into a Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket meal by the very same master, showing us Dante's more honor-bound side. And the boss encounters are hella fun, giving you one hell of a challenge, testing your abilities to dodge, shoot, and slash. Not to mention the kick-ass boss theme and oh, this iconic line.
The son of Sparta challenges the darkness for this.
Block off, Featherface, or you can stick around and find out the hard way.
In the number 8 spot is Toad from Devil May Cry 4. What I like about this thing is how much of a trickster this dude is, trying to tempt your ass with some demon thirst traps that are antennas of his, till showing his ugly mug to the player. Nero and Dante interact in completely different ways with him. Nero getting repulsed by the antennas and Dante pretending to play along, to then roast him, taking the piss out of him. The fight itself is a fun romp, even though the Toad chickens out on more than one occasion. But he can keep you on them toes, using them reflexes wisely, not to mention snagging a hold of one of the greatest firearms in the whole series, Pandora. Number 7 on this list is Agni and Rudra from Devil May Cry 3. Two brothers who are the opposite of Dante and Vergil. The headless swordsmen are chilling bored out of their minds, guarding their posts. Till Dante shows up. Unlike Cerberus, they actually want to hang out with their guest. Dante just wants to get through to Vergil, but they're committing to guarding the door, so they fight. The boss fight is a 2v1 affair that's pretty fair if you think about it. In a way, their attacks are in sync. You move out of one attack, then you attack the attacker. Move out of the brother's attack, attack him too, till you're able to finish him off on equal health bars. But if you kill one off and the other one is still standing, well, you're fucked, as the other sword will get picked up, bombarding you by them attacks till you're dead. Kill him off either way, the swords will ask you to pick him up. They found you worthy enough to be their owner, so Dante picks him up on the one condition of a no talking rule. Agni and Rudra are fun demon characters who are a bunch of bored goofballs, waiting for something to happen, who had no malice towards Dante, which is kinda new in the series. If anything, they were a bunch of mall cops doing a job. It's kind of a shame that Dante didn't want to hear a peep coming out of their mouths. In the number 6 spot is Nevin from Devil May Cry 3, the red-headed demonic Twitch streaming OnlyFans succubus demon MILF that introduces herself to the 19-year-old wacky woohoo pizza man by trying to tempt his crazy hormonal ass for a shit ton of Twitch donations and an OnlyFans subscription out of Dante. But little did she know our boy ain't no beta male simp after taking him GigaChat pills, telling her to be gone, slapping the electricity out of her through one hell of a fun-ass boss fight. Testing your abilities to dodge, roll parries using Royal Guard, jump cancelling, DT management, damage exploits. After the boss is done, she still tries to play with Dante's late teen hormones for that OnlyFans money. Realizes he's too in-tuned into that GigaChat pill, getting her to orgasm due to that high testosterone energy, turning into an electric guitar weapon using the powers of heavy metal to crush the rest of his enemies throughout the rest of the game. In the number 5 spot is Vergil from Devil May Cry 4. This thing is the definition of badass. The idea that this skyscraper-sized minotaur flaming hell demon is the first boss says a lot about the game. Fighting this dude off is hella adrenaline pumping, testing everything that you've learned from just 2 missions of playing. It gives you plenty of opportunities for experimenting using different tricks and crazy guard flying mechanics. I really like how Vergil reacts to Dante's presence by absolutely hating his guts, while wanting some revenge from the dude for killing his old man. He's supposed to be Mundus' kid. It's mentioned in the Devil May Cry art book. With all that aside, he's a great looking scary demon that's a joy to smack around. In the number 4 spot is the Goat Berserker Beowulf. The best thing about this dude is the absolute malice he has towards Sparta and his whole bloodline, ragefully wanting to wipe it off of the face of existence. Because of Sparta's betrayal years ago, giving us an idea how most devils view Sparta, in what is my opinion the greatest banter cutscene in the history of this franchise. Having the 18-year-old Dante getting under the giant's skin. Bruh, the boss fight is a direct reflection of that rage. He'll lunge towards you to keep you on your toes, swinging at you, smashing the whole damn ground to hit you up with that AoE. So the guy tests what you're made of while giving you a ton of opportunity to play around using jump cancels and other strategies through a joyride of a boss fight. Not to mention the formula-breaking post-boss cutscene of Beowulf overpowering Dante, and the wacky woohoo pizza man only getting a lucky shot blinding him. Oh, and the other Sparta boy gets the weapon. Guess he had no idea Sparta had 2 sons. In the number 3 spot is the Cerberus from Devil May Cry 3 and 5. In DMC3, this pooch was one hell of a way to start off DMC3's boss lineup. The wacky woohoo pizza man walks into the Timony Groove not knowing what to expect, to find a huge ass 3-headed guard dog throwing a huge chunk of ice at him and telling him to walk away from the tower. What does Dante do? Treat him like a little puppy, roasting everything he stands for, pissing him off before the actual fight. The doggy gets manhandled by Dante so hard, he has no choice but to hand his soul over to him as a show of respect. Years later, he runs into the same pooch's grandpa, who has a few tricks up his sleeve wanting to stop Dante, while wanting some revenge on him killing the other Cerberus all these years ago. The wacky woohoo pizza man does what he does best, mocking the crap out of the dog, trivializing it like he did way back in the day, this time forcibly stealing his soul away. For the boss fights themselves, the DMC3 one is a culmination of that game's philosophy, for throwing in counters of batshit insanity at the player without any warning or prep time. The dog lunges at you like a freight train running over a human being, taking most of that HP away. Not to mention the pillars of ice rushing down your head, wanting to unalive you at a moment's notice. This boss will most definitely prompt the easy mode is now selectable meme, code for you suck at this game. On the other hand, once you beat him, you already had a shot of the get good pills, since you already got an idea of how to dodge and find exploits. The boss in DMC5 is a nice little cameo to the last one, packing in some unique surprises, hitting you up with fire powers, ice abilities, conjuring up thunder. Each power gets the boss to fight you differently, hothead fights you head on, striking and ramming Dante every chance he gets. Using thunder and ice, he's playing a game of keep away, giving you a chance to switch up them strategies at every turn. Let's not kid ourselves, the DMC3 Cerberus theme is where it's at. A metal track that kicks a ton of ass. In the number 2 spot is Kratos from Devil May Cry 4. Now I know some of you guys might be thinking, well, he ain't exactly a demon per se. He only has demonic powers. Well, that's correct to an extent. He's infused with demonic power. But I really like the vibes of the girlfriend's brother who really doesn't trust your ass, after keeping a huge ass secret from him all these years. Naturally, he's after Nero's blood. The fight itself is DMC4's way of including a Vergil boss fight, without including a Vergil boss fight. Summon swords getting thrown at you? Check. Lightning speed attacks? There's more where that came from. Minus judgment cuts, we know who that belongs to. So yeah, Kratos a great you ain't laying a hand on my sister no more boss in DMC. That's as fun and challenging as a Vergil fight, featuring a kick-ass boss theme. In the number 1 spot is Mundus from the OG Devil May Cry. Why am I putting this guy as the number 1 demon on this list? For one, Mundus is vile and despicable. The other demons on this list were either honor-bound, courageous, or they had a reason to go after Dante or Nero, in the most head-on fashion imaginable. Throughout DMC1's runtime, Mundus is hiding in the background, watching your every move, sending all the castle's minions at you, not wanting to get into a head-on scuffle with you, despite being the most powerful being on the island. Once you get to him, Dante has a ton of hatred towards Mundus. But Mundi doesn't care. He still tries to get Dante on his side. But he ain't having that shit. After breaking the Sparta family apart and killing his mom in cold blood, it was a guarantee that Dante wasn't gonna be his wacky woohoo self, wanting this Zeus-looking turd to die. The boss fight itself is the only time Kamiya has ever gone the random shmup section in an action game right. Since you're dealing with mechanics the game has already taught you how to use, like flying in DT, getting an idea of how that works using air raids. And Vortex is very usable here, for iframes head-on attacks, so it flows naturally, with DMC1's gameplay loop, giving off some high-octane spectacle before God of War or modern gaming technology was a thing. Phase 2 of the fight takes place in the fiery pits of hell. Mundus is a hard hitter on this one, throwing projectile spikes, phantom lava pillars. It's the definition of batshit insanity. You get to use the full power of the Devil Sword Sparta. The square button shoots Sin Devil Trigger fireballs, while the sword strikes extend far beyond thy heavens. Phase 3 is the true weakened form of Mundus. He might be a cakewalk, but at the end of the day, that was the whole point, to show how much of a vile worm Mundus was. So yeah, I put this dude in the number 1 spot because of how personal all the stakes of the fight were, and how much of an epic finale the whole thing felt like. That was fun to play and look at, accompanied by kick-ass music. Now that the top 10 has been settled, we come to the end of this video. What were your guys' thoughts on it? And which DMC demon is your favorite? Let me know in the comments down below. Making this whole list was not an easy task. It was quite difficult actually. These games have got a ton of kick-ass demonic boss characters. It's hard to categorize them, so I might be making a part 2 to this one, for the sake of not leaving any demons unranked. Let me know if that'll be a good idea in the comments. Real quick, I truly appreciate all of you guys for getting me to 2,000 plus subscribers, and blowing up my last video beyond my wildest dreams. You guys rock! If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and hit that subscribe button. Real Impact style, and ring the bell to get notified on whenever I drop a brand new Devil May Cry or other action game video. This has been the Devil Joe signing out. Catch you on the next one.
Whoa!